Hello, everyone. This is Shaman Durek, and it's a pleasure to be here with each and every one of you. So wonderful, as we say in Norway, God nyttår, which is Happy New Year to each and every one of you. But I always say Happy New You because we're always growing and evolving and shifting and lifting new energies, vibration, field, patterns, codes, and all of these wonderful frequencies that we are stepping into. And we're also moving into the year of the horse fire, which is also pretty amazing when it comes to really learning the art of letting go and trusting that the universe is leading you to where you're supposed to be. I think one of the biggest challenges we have as a community and individually is the whole idea of really letting go and getting into that trust space, right? And the trust space can be a bit challenging because, we are type of beings that are very much like we want it now, right? Like we want out of this stuff, we want new stuff, we want it now, 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 right? And so of course we get into that place of like doubting and getting discouraged and feeling like, is it really gonna change? Are things gonna get better? And all of these things. And when you start going into that energy, the first thing you have to do is call on the light. You cannot ask questions about anything if you have not asked the spirits of the higher realms, um, is it true, these doubts and fears and things that you're hearing and feeling and experiencing? One of the things you can do, which is super easy to do, is talk to the part of your being that's already living the life that you want to live. And you just simply call it out. So say, I'd like to talk to the part of my being that has already transcended into the reality timeline that I want to be living in, where I have the things that truly make me happy and I'm living a fulfilled life. And then ask it some questions like, what is it that I'm holding on to that's limiting me from getting to where you are? What things actually need to change? Like all of these different things, right? It's so important because what happens is when we are not communicating to our multidimensional spirits that we are a part of, which is a huge, super huge, like network of amazing beings that are just waiting for us to have the awareness and the clarity that they exist. You know, is nothing greater then realizing that there are beings actually, like I was talking to these beings for a client of mine where things were never working out for them. And I was like, I'd like to talk to the beings that make things happen on planet Earth for human beings and move energies to where they're supposed to go. What is getting in the way? And literally they told us exactly what it was. And the person changed it and all these new things changed for them. So it's like, why do we make it so challenging, so difficult? You know why? Because we're constantly going into an overthinking analyzation process. And you can't do that anymore. Not anymore. That was all last year stuff. Last year was all about like really confronting your shadow, the things you haven't come into love with in yourself, looking at the people you surround yourself with, the things that get under your skin, the things that irritate you, the places and the rooms that you do not belong in, the places where you do not are in the people you're not supposed to be hanging out with. Last year was so good at cleaning the house, but can I tell you, it did not feel good. It didn't feel good for a lot of people, including myself, but it's okay. You see, being a Scorpio, of course, I'm going to say that because I enjoy a challenge. But the challenge is not anything to hurt you, it's to refine you, right? It's to get you in a place of refinement. And what is refinement? It means to be able to clear those things that are no longer supporting you, that are limiting you, that are holding you back from being able to be lifted. Think of it like you're supposed to be going up into higher dimensions and you have all this weight on you. And those weights could be judgments and like belief systems and people and jobs you may be holding on to and certain type of belief systems from whatever it is at whatever time, or it could be expectations or other expectations of other people that you've accepted. Those are weights and you have to let those weights go. We're not supposed to be weighed down beings, right? We're supposed to be beings that are light and light-hearted, light open in our heart, open, free. It doesn't mean we're not protected because our protection comes from being at the right place at the right time at the right moment because we're in alignment. Alignment is our protection. when we are not in alignment, when we are trying to meet other people's expectations, when we're trying to people please, when we are trying to go out there with agendas instead of asking our heart, asking spirit, or talk to the part of our being that knows. Say, I'd like to talk to the part of my being that knows what is the most harmonious path. If the thing that I'm about to do, is that my most harmonious path? You're going to get a yes or no. You're going to hear your spirit talk to you when you actually take the time to have respect for your multidimensional being that you are and the spirits that govern you. They're going to speak to you, right? Because you're showing that you acknowledge their existence, which means you acknowledge yourself. You acknowledge all of the multidimensional aspects of your existence. Whenever I get stuck in life, I talk to the part of myself that isn't stuck and it's living in another timeline. I ask it questions. It tells me what to do and I do it and it works. I can't tell you. It's like, I remember there was a time in my life where I was like dating, women and men and like all kinds of people. Um, and I was just not happy. I was not satisfied in those relationships. Some of them were tumultuous, some of them were not tumultuous, and some of them just were not in sync with me on an energetic, spiritual, defined level. And when I say that, it's because I am a quadruple Scorpio and I go very, very deep. And I can't be in a relationship with someone who's not willing to go deep with me because I am just like, I'm that guy. I'm the guy that's like, let's go into the unknown, right? So, and I dated this amazing woman before, and then she was like really lovely, my last relationship before my wife. And, she was an amazing woman. She was an artist. She was creative. She was everything, but we couldn't go deep the way I wanted to. And that was like, why am I settling for less? And, and I asked spirit, I'm like, what am I doing? And then, I asked the part of my being, I was like, I'd like to talk to the part of my being that is in a healthy, happy, loving relationship that is authentic, that is transparent, that is based on acknowledging each other's greatness, that is lifting and vibrating at a high level where I can be vulnerable. I can be like, I can have someone call me out without feeling like they're attacking me. Like what is it that I'm doing? And you know what they said? They spoke to me and it said, yes, I am that you that exists in another dimension that has that relationship. And what I had to do to get here was I had to stop settling for what was there and really know that I am going to meet that person. And I had to be willing to be able to be vulnerable enough to meet someone who would be able to call me on the things that I am holding, and hiding and not sharing and whatnot because of insecurities or fears or whatever that may be, right? And so I was like, oh, that's what I need to do then. So I broke up with the person I was with, and I was like, I love you. We're still friends to this day, of course. And literally went out, and I'm friends with all the people I've dated through my whole life except for one, which is kind of funny. But anyway, I went out and I basically was like, I'm going to go and look at the part of myself that's scared to be in a relationship where I have to expose all of who I am. And once I got that, 2 weeks later, Martha walks in and we became friends. And in that friendship, we started like calling each other out and stuff and like laughing and like being like, oh my God, I felt so exposed. But it was so good. It was so good. And like she was doing it and I was doing it. And we were like laughing, having fun and being kids, playing video games, going to Disneyland, having fun together, doing all kinds of fun stuff. And like realizing that we are literally best friends and that we were like literally falling in love with each other. Well, we were in love with you. We weren't even falling in love. We were actually in love with each other. And we already knew we had a past life together as husband and wife, but still, we still needed to build the foundation here. And what was that foundation built on? Honesty, trust, realness, authenticity, transparency. Like I wasn't going in and being like, yeah, baby, I'm this guy. I'm saying? I'm Shaman Durek, like travel the world, I talk to people. I've been in magazines, do. No. I was like, I'm afraid to be abandoned. I have insecurities. I'm a soul sexual person. Like, this is who I am. I've been through this. I've been through that. She was like, I've been through this. I've been through that. Like, and no judgment, just full love acceptance, And once you get to that spot, that sweet spot, and then I asked the spirit, I said, Spirit, the one that has that loving relationship, like, is that what is, did I do it? And it's like, yes, you did it. And guess what? That spirit that was having that loving, nurturing, transparent relationship, I'm now that spirit because I chose to talk to that part of my being that already exists quantumly to connect into what I need to do to change my life. And now I have the most loving wife. I've got 3 amazing bonus kids. I'm living the life of life because I have love in my life in ways I can't even begin to tell you. Like the other day, I was looking at her. We were watching Stranger Things. And I just was looking, I was touching her hand, and I was just like, I am so in love with you. I could just sit and stare at you for days and like never, ever grow tired of it. Like there's nothing, like it doesn't matter. It's like, it's crazy. And you know what it is? It's because she loves me. Not, I don't love her because of her title or who she, I love her because she is my best friend and that's how we met. I mean, yeah, okay. I heard that she was that who she was. I can't really say it because like I'll get in trouble, but you know who she is. The whole point is that I knew that, but that wasn't my reason. And she gave me 6 months to figure out if I was ready to be in a relationship with her at that caliber. She gave me that time to soul search myself, to make sure that she was the one I want to spend the rest of my life with. And when you make a decision like that, you don't go into that decision lightly. You have to build a foundation with everything in life. Friendships, you build a foundation. You don't just meet people and be like, yeah, we're best friends. We have so much in common. We're trauma bonding. We're trauma bonding. Yeah, trauma bond, trauma bond. I feel so connected to you. I feel like we had a past life. Yeah, well, maybe you did have a past life. But just because you're trauma bonding and you're sharing your stories and stuff doesn't mean that person is the right energy for you, because it has to be in a place where you are able to feel vulnerable, that you can feel vulnerable, feel loved, feel held, feel supported, feel seen, feel nurtured, feel acknowledged. And, the way I am, as and how I show up in the world, I don't believe in hierarchies. I don't care if you've written 30 books and you speak on stages all over the world, and someone who hasn't written books and doesn't speak on the stage, you're going to get treated the exact same way, boo. The thing is, for me, it's all about that vibrational field of authenticity, right? I don't care. I don't care. People say whatever they want to me. I'm like, ha 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 ha. Yeah, that's nice. You're so inauthentic. I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even going to waste my energy and my time. Because if you can't hear from me and I can't hear from you the truth, because I'm coming from a place of love and I can see the places where you can grow and you can see the places where I can grow, and you can't call that out without getting triggered and getting angry and blaming me and shaming me and naming me, then you're not ready for the realness. And remember, people who are spiritually lifting into the higher vibrational realms of the 5th dimension are operating in what we call light synthesis. And light synthesis means that your being is holding more light than some people on earth who are still holding more density and fear, lack, limitation, scarcity, and God knows what. Light synthesis gives you the ability to access a certain level of consciousness that may not be what people on earth are comfortable with. Right? It just may not be. Like, you might have come in with so much light synthesis in your system that you are known as a living, walking disruptor. And if you are upset because you have to deal with conflict of other people's issues, then you have to understand it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Their conflict that they're having with you is not conflict for you to be a victim. It's conflict for you to be like, look, first of all, I just want to say thank you for having the courage to share me with how you feel and what's been bothering you, what's been affecting you. And I'm here to support you through this. But if they can't handle after that, they're like still angry and upset, then they're not looking to come to a resolution, right? To remove the confusion. They're looking to just be able to spout out all the things that they're angry about or upset with themselves about. And I don't have time for that. You see? I have no problem. Someone can come with me and say, "Oh, Shaman Durek, I don't like you, and you're this, and you're that, and blah, 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 blah." Say what you need to say. And I'd be like, "Well, I'm glad that you had the courage to get that off your chest. And, how did you come about these ideas? Oh, I read about it in the paper. I read all these things about you, and I can't believe you did this and that and the other." And I said, "Well, if you take the paper and you decide that's who I am and you think that's the character of my being, then it's quite unfortunate because you're going to miss out on who I truly am versus what you've already accepted me to be. But I'm not going to be like, 'Oh my God, how could you say that to me? You horrible person.' Oh, no, no, because this isn't about me. This is about them, their beliefs, where they are in their evolution, the density that they carry, and the lack of doing their own due diligence from an authentic place, not from a propaganda place. And no one has time to be trying to convince people that you're a good person. If people can't see that you're a good person and that you have a good heart and that you mean well and that you have a good spirit and that you're generous and kind and all these things, and they can't see it, and you have to run around trying to convince them that you're a good person by people pleasing them and buying them things and doing things that you think is going to move them in that direction. And I'm not talking about just friends. I'm talking about anyone and anyone. I mean that someone you're doing a project with, if you're working with someone, if you're in a relationship with someone, if you have to spend most of your life force energy trying to convince people of who you are, those are not your people. Period. Period. Those are not your people. And also, coming into this new year, babies, let me tell you something, okay? We are going to take it to the next level. It's about going to super lit. And super lit means that you have no more bandwidth for nonsense on any level. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your auntie, your cousin, your friend, someone you're in a relationship with. It stops here. I don't want to hear nobody telling you that something can't be manifested or created in your life, because every possibility exists in this universe. And there's possibilities that we don't even know that have yet to exist because we haven't even thought of it yet, but they exist. I don't want to hear it. I was interviewed on a talk show, on this show called The Insider the other, about maybe a couple weeks ago. And they asked me, they wanted me to do a demonstration. I put it up on my story if you want to see it. I did a demonstration on the host, the people who were interviewing me and my wife. And, one of them felt something immediately. And the first thing they did was like go to this like analyzation, like, oh, maybe it's because I'm nervous, I'm feeling these energies. It's like, if that's what makes you sleep at night, boo-boo, look, I'm the type of person, I don't have to convince you of who I am as Shaman Durek. I know who I am. But if that makes you comfortable, that when you felt energy, you felt like it was because you were nervous and it wasn't the energy you felt from what I was sending you, fine. And then I did it to the other guy and his hand started reacting and he felt energy and he was like, I felt it. Like, great. But this isn't about me. That's what people don't understand. When you are in the spiritual realm, this isn't about me trying to convince you. This is about you choosing to be open, and I can show you the journey of how to access all your powers, your gifts, your abilities, and whatnot, and all that. But I am not here to play this game called I have to prove to you before you believe. Like, no, you come to me when you're ready, but don't come to me when you're not. If someone's like, oh, I don't feel anything, that's because you're not open, boo. One time I remember I was on, it was this show in LA called Access Hollywood. So Access Hollywood was interviewing me and they had me in this room and they had this woman and they're like, so do you think you're a reptile? I love when people ask me, do I think I'm a reptile? Like, do I look like a reptile? Do I have reptilian skin? Reptilian. That's how I like that word. Reptilian skin with a little reptilian lizard tongue. I mean, come on, people. It's energy. It's not that I think I'm a reptile, like I'm a reptile. It's all about energy. But I always find it fascinating how people like to my information and think that I actually think that I'm a reptile. And that's like, propaganda is so amazing. Like there are people in India, okay, in Bangladesh, okay, who are writing me and going like, so you really believe you're a reptile? No, I do not believe I'm a reptile. Sorry, I don't. I believe that I have the archetype, the energy frequency. I have energy frequencies of many things. I'm not just one thing. I'm a multidimensional being. And it's really funny that even that's been proven scientifically about the quantum universe and quantum energy, and still people don't get it. They think they're like this one type of being, and that's it. They don't know that there are many beings in one body existing multidimensionally. Like if I want to talk to, like, for instance, like let's say I'm having a tough time dealing with something, I'm going to talk to the part of my being that lives multidimensionally that has already overcame it and ask it for its step-by-step process. Like, why am I going to sit here and like rack my brains when I can just talk to that part of my being that already exists? And if there's a place where I don't feel worthy, I'm going to talk to the part of my being that does feel worthy and ask it some questions to help me become worthy. You see, we have so much power at our hands, but we don't take the time to actually acknowledge it. Like, for instance, if I'm going to hear a negative voice say something to me in my head, like, oh, you're an idiot, right? Like I used to hear that when I was a kid. Don't hear that anymore because they know I don't play. Be like, you're an idiot. I'd be like, seriously? Like, what are you saying to me? Right? Like, I'm that kind of guy, right? But there was a time in my life when I was much younger where beings from the underworld and other types of beings would come in and try to like get in my, like, hijack my mind with all kinds of negative, self-talk, making me think it was me, but I knew it was them. And I used to get affected by it, right? But then why I got affected by it is because I was like, how could you, like, that's horrible that someone thinks that about me. But the point is, it's like, it's just a being telling me that, and it's my choice to believe it or not. And so I started getting really good at going like, God, is that true? 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 And every time God would be like, nope, that's not true. God, nope, that's not true. Nope, nope, I don't judge. Nope, nope, I don't punish. Nope, nope, I don't condemn you. Nope, nope, there's no hell region like that. Nope, nope, nope. And then I just got realizing that a lot of people are living in a lot of fantasy and cuckoo bird land. And they say I'm cuckoo and crazy, and I'm thinking they're more cuckoo and crazy. But who's the real cuckoo bird in the room? Please tell me. Will the real cuckoo bird please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. Because at the end of the day, I have to go into these thoughts, like watching how people respond, and they actually think that I'm not going to go and ask God for the truth. I remember when I was a kid and I was in Bible school, and I would be reading the Bible, and there's a lot of beautiful things in the Bible, just as there's beautiful things in the Quran, and there's beautiful things in the Bhagavad Gita, and there's beautiful things in Hindu culture, and you name it. There's beautiful things, and then there's things that are not so beautiful, and we know we don't need to really call it out, but we know what they are. Right. And that's anything that goes against love and the acknowledgement of life and the beauty and the splendor and the value of human nature to explore, expand, and experience while being on this planet, because we're multidimensional beings and we're eternal. And that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to experiment, explore, and create so that we can learn how to use our energy the right way. And you can never learn how to use energy the right way if you're not willing to make a couple fumbles and bumbles and a little bit of mistakes, right? But this whole thing, like people like holding you to your past and wanting, oh, in the past you did this. Yes, I did. I did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. And next. We are not our past, so stop talking about it. I evolve every single day. Like, hello, every time you meet me, you're meeting a new me. So let's get it popping, okay? But anyway, going back to what I was saying was, so in this reality, right, of realizing that every time people would say things to me, and I would be talking to like my grandfather, and he would be saying things like having me kneel on rice and like spout like verses from the Bible, and he was really trying to to get rid of my African roots in my Yoruban culture. He was really trying to like move the family in a different direction, even though the family was playing along and we were still pretty clear on who we are. But the thing is, it was, for the way it was, bless my grandfather. And, he's listening right now. Aren't you, Grandpa? It was really cool when he actually died because he went to the other side and he was like, oh my God, you were right, Durek. I was like, yeah, I know. I'm so glad you can hear me. But you didn't believe me, but that's okay, because that's okay. But nonetheless, we were doing our Bible stuff and everything, and he was talking about hell and damnation and sin and God's punishment and the book of good and evil and this and that and the other. And so I said, God, do you judge people? And God said, no. If I judge, then whose judgment am I judging upon? Because everyone has a different understanding of reality and everyone has a different understanding of what is right and wrong as according to their belief system. So I don't judge. I just let people be because I love you unconditionally. So I was like, oh, okay. So then I asked my grandfather, I was like, how can God judge if God is telling us thou shalt not judge? Shouldn't God be taking the same role? And that's just one, Grandpa. But the other one, Grandpa, is the fact that you said God is omniscient, omnipotent, and omniscient, and omnipresent, which means God is all knowing in all places and all places at once and all realities. That means all realities. Well, an artist like Salvador Dali or let's say Rembrandt or like let's just like let's say Basquiat, for instance, right? They're like far out there to create some of the most amazing pieces of art. And so their brain and their mind might be in a whole nother dimension. God is supposed to be even greater than that. So how could God judge if God is able to see all possibilities at all time, spaces, and awarenesses in all dimensions and here and now and everywhere? Then where do we have to evolve to if God is just like us? Boy, he'd say to me, boy, you ain't supposed to be asking them questions. That's the talking about the Lord here. You don't ask questions. You just believe and have faith. You don't ask. You don't do any of that. You just, the Bible says what the Bible says, and the Bible is right, and that's what it is. Well, okay. But Grandpa, didn't Jesus speak Aramaic? And isn't Aramaic translation very different than what you're reading? Because you're reading the King James version. Wasn't King James gay? How come it says in the book of Leviticus and in Corinthians things about gay people are being homosexual as some kind of abomination when King James himself, the one who like revised the Bible, he was gay? So I'm confused. Oh boy, you ask too many questions, that's the problem with you kids today. Y'all don't know when to shut your mouth and just listen to what listening to be listening to. That's when I realized that my grandfather was completely out of his mind. And I thought to myself, let him believe what he wants to believe. If he wants to believe that he's going to die and sit in the casket until the trumpet blows by the angel Gabriel blows the trumpet and lifts him up for judgment day. And then he goes in a long line in front of a pearly white gate with a long, big book with an angel sitting there looking at all the things he did in life and saying, oh, okay, well, yes, oh, yes, of course, here we are. Oh, yes, it looks like you've done really well. You can enter the gates. Here you are. Here you are. No. Sorry. My grandfather died, went to heaven, and saw the truth. They revealed everything to him, and then he came to me and apologized. It was simple like that. I don't have time to convince people. If people want to believe there's hell and damnation, believe it. You believe I'm a sinner, believe it. You believe that the world is falling apart, believe it. I honestly, at this point, when it comes to light infusion of consciousness that is always coming through spirit, spirit is like, if people want to believe all of these things, you're not going to convince them otherwise. The best thing you can do is continue staying in a place of love, get out of judgment, stay in a neutral zone. Don't look at things from right and wrong based on what people tell you. Let them believe what they want. Realize that it's all based on experience and exploring and how you use your powers in this lifetime. That's it. No judgment. You're an eternal being. You will live through all eternity. Decide what you want to do with your life, period. And so I decided that I am going to focus my energy on developing more and more of my awareness with spirit, being devoted to spirit, talking to the ancestors, loving my wife, loving my children, loving my family, loving you. Yep, that's right, because I do love you. And to allow whatever I can share with you, if it supports you in some way, then fantastic. And if it doesn't, fantastic. Because whatever is necessary for the growth of our family and our community, what I care about more than anything is not being this powerful shaman. It's not about that. It's about us together being powerful. I am nothing without you. And that is the truth, my darlings. And I don't care who spouts from what precipice or from what pulpit or from what stage they spout from. We're nothing without each other. That's the truth. And so it does me no good to rise and be and gain knowledge and talk to spirits and go into the unknown and go deep into these different realms if it's not about me sharing with you what I've gained, what I've learned, what I understand, so that you, if in some way it supports you in some beautiful way and it helps you to make shifts in your life that actually make you see how amazing and gifted you are, then I've lived the life that I'm supposed to live. Do I believe I have a mission? No. Do I believe that I have some purpose? No. Do I believe that I'm here to explore, experiment, and immerse myself? Yes. And do I believe in that process of doing so, will I share things that I've learned upon my way, things that I have experienced through spirit, through the physical, through the emotional, through the mental? Yes. Will I be right about everything? No. Will I gain information from other people? Yes. And will it be fun for us to share ideas? Absolutely. And will we have fun on this journey and then go back to heaven and laugh about the whole entire thing? You better believe it. Because the more and more years move on, the more and more I start to care less about the what's it called, the grand stage of folly, as well. I'll call it the grand stage of folly. I start to care less about the grand stage of folly. That's those who put on masks and prance around each other and create unnecessary chaos and drama on the planet just for the sake of the fact that they don't know how to use their energy or their emotional intelligence, or choose to go into the unknown places and discover the reason why they matter and how important it is to the existence of all that they come into the fold of love. And it may take them this lifetime or the next lifetime or the next lifetime or the next lifetime. It doesn't matter because we're eternal. But while I'm here, I devote my life to seeing us continually lifted and continually growing and sharing and loving and holding that space. So the grand stage of folly and illusion. Exactly. Exactly. It's like, oh, this person is doing this right now. Oh, this government is doing this right now. And this is doing this right now. I was told by spirit not to put my energy on those things. I'm not giving them any more of my energetic field. I'm sorry. My energetic field is going towards the people on planet Earth that I believe in, who are actually making changes every single day by affecting the entire system. Those are the people I believe in. I believe in you. I believe in me. I believe in the beings who are waking up every day saying, I can go greater, I can go higher, I can be lighter, I can be more loving, I can be more kinder, more generous, more open, more free, more creative, more sensual, more playful, more energetic, more pleasurable. I put my belief on that. That's what I put my belief on. That's what I'm believing in. I'm not believing in all this other nonsense. People are like, oh my God, did you see the news? No, I didn't. I'm sorry. I don't watch the news. I gave that up a long time ago. And there's reasons why I gave it up. Because it was like polluting my energetic field of consciousness. My light observation was being too much observation on the discord of humanity from people who still need to play out their past life stuff from all the wars they've had. They still haven't got enough of it. And I just don't choose to participate in all that. No, I don't. It's very virus. It's very virus giving. It's very virus giving. It's like, oh, spread the virus. Spread the virus of fear. Spread the virus. Spread the virus. No, I'm not into that. Sorry. No. It reminds me of when we were going through COVID and everyone was like fighting against each other. Get the vaccine. Don't get the vaccine. Get the vaccine. Don't get the vaccine. No one knew what the heck they were talking about, but everyone was fighting, and that's exactly what they want. It's just like, let's just rile up the people. The more riled up they are, the more crazy they become, the more at each other, the more we can do more things too. Like, no, no, no. Sorry. I'm Alphaba in this story. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm Alphaba in this story. Yes. I'm Alphaba in this story. That's who I am. Yes. I'm just gonna sit in my place and do my magic and talk to the spirits, my ancestors, pray, meditate. If I feel like bowing to Mecca, I will. If I feel like reading the Bible, I will. If I feel like chanting Namiho Renge Kyo, I will. If I feel like singing Hare Krishna, I will. I will do anything and everything I want to do that makes me feel good inside. And I'm not going to let back, oh, what? You're a shaman? You read the Bible? Yeah, I read the Bible. Yeah, there's certain verses I do like, certain things I love in Aramaic language that Jesus said, certain things I love about Quran, certain things I love about different things. I take the little bits and pieces that I love. I don't have to fit in the box, and because you can't understand where to place me, you get all bent out of shape. Please get bent out of shape. Do some yoga while you're at it. When people get bent out of shape, I just say, do some yoga, do some backward stretches, do something, raise your arm, put your leg behind your head, do something, because I'm going to keep irritating you. I'm going to keep bending you out of shape. So you're going to be doing a lot of yoga, boo-boo. You're going to be doing lots of yoga for days. You'll be doing all kind of yoga. You might even become a yoga instructor after you get in my energy for a while. People go, oh, you irritate me so much. I've said, that's so wonderful. That's wonderful. You feel irritated. Yes. Yes. Because my vibration, you see, that's the whole thing that people don't understand is that you are going to irritate people. You're going to frustrate them. They might be in your family. They might be friends of yours. Might be someone you walk to on the street. This is the way it is. You are here to be a disruptor. It's a natural code. It's in your energy field. You can't get rid of it. If people have issues like with you, like you have it, oh, that friend was jealous, that person is this, that person is doing that to me. That's because you got this vibrational field in you. It's called disruption. And you know what disruption disrupts? It disrupts all the people who are fake as fuck. Sorry. I know my sister's like, you shouldn't curse. But you know what? Sometimes I like curse. Fake as fuck. I call it faff. We call it faff. Let's just call it faff. They're super faff. They're super faff. Yeah. You know, literally, here's the reality, right? You have a natural code, right? It's in your vibrational field, right? It's called a disruptor code. And you walk into a room and you'll know because you see what happens is you have this wave that's going like this and it's huge. It's a huge wave. It's big. It's a big, big wave, right? And the reason why it's big is because the wave of where people are like hiding from who they are and like living in fear and whatever, it's like a small wave. It's like a little tiny wave, right? But it's not tiny enough to affect all those people. But when your wave comes in, it starts pushing that wave to go up to the higher dimensions, and they don't like that. Oh no, it really upsets them. And that's what we want. We want them to flip tables. We want them to break windows. We want them to like, ah! We want them to scream in their pillows at night. Scream your names. Talk to people. Talk about you on dinner tables. Yes, talk about me. That's what you want. You want people to talk about you. You want people to say, yes, that person is, whatever comes out of their mouth. Doesn't matter. Because what's happening is your disruptive energy is pulling out all that toxicity and stuff and the nastiness and all those energies that they're all caught up in, right? You're triggering them for the purpose of growth. And they may not get the growth in this life. They might get it in their next life, but that's not your issue. Your issue is just to do you, boo. Do you, boo. Do you, boo. Because in this life, right? You are going to disrupt people, and you cannot be victim when they get irritated. You cannot be like, the person's like, oh, and says all kinds of weird shit to you and stuff, and you're just like, oh, no, you're just like, uh-huh, uh-huh, of course you are. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Because I'm a disruptor. What to tell you? It's like, yeah. I could see why that would bother you. Yeah. Oh, you think I'm crazy? Okay, that's interesting. It's interesting. I've heard that before. Go ahead. Anything else? Well, I'm glad that you had the courage to get all of that off your chest. Don't you feel better now? Like we're no victims up in here. Ain't no victims up in here. No. There ain't no victims up in here. We know who we are. We are disruptors. We're not here to sit here and sit back and be like, oh, I hope everybody likes me. No, they're not going to like you. You're sorry. Sorry. I have a lot of friends who are celebrities, and they sometimes go through these meltdowns, and they go through all kinds of like things, and I have to call them up and be like, why are you even a big Hollywood actress if you're going to be having meltdowns 24/7? I mean, seriously, boo. You made the movie, you did the thing, you walked the carpet, like, get over it. They didn't like your outfit, who cares? You liked it, right? She said, yes, I loved it, but everyone wrote bad things about me. I don't care. You got to start recognizing who you are. Be who you are. Not everyone's going to like you, boo, because you have disruptive energy. So go out there and disrupt. Go make your movies, go do your things, write your scripts, whatever it is you got to do. Pay to paint a picture, dance, I don't care, be a healer, be a shaman, whatever it is. And don't let anybody tell you what you can be. One thing I cannot stand is someone's like, but you're not a shaman. Who are you going to tell me who I am? I am the living embodiment of God in flesh as me, as Shaman Durek, as me. And if I want to change my name, I'll change my name. I can call myself anything I want. I can be anything I want, however I want, no matter what I want. I'm sorry it doesn't fit in your box because I'm here to disrupt you. Because again, the disruptive code says, do not let them change you. That is the disruptor code. You cannot change my program in the matrix. Sorry. I'm the anomaly. I am 1,000 Neos in one body. You better get it poppin'. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to share information with my brothers and sister disruptors so we can stay on course of making people irritated with our presence. Yes. Yes, come on. I mean, if you are tiptoeing around people's emotions, you still have not recognized yourself. Because I don't tiptoe around nobody's emotions. One time, this girlfriend of mine said to me in Turkey, and we were walking down the street in Istanbul, and she said, oh, that thing you said to me today, you really, really ruined my day. I said, I ruined your day? Wow. She's like, why would you say it like that? I say, well, I'm just saying, you've given me so much power that I've ruined your day. All because of something that I said that was very truthful. I find it fascinating that out of all the many emotions that you have access to, you chose the one that ruined your day. Very interesting that you would call that in and then blame someone for it because you're miserable in something you called in. She was like, oh, shit, I never even thought of it that way. I was like, exactly. Because if you think for 1 second that I'm here to take responsibility for your choice and selection of emotions, that you have like a plethora of different choices of emotions you can choose from, and you choose to say that because of what I said, you chose this one out of all of the billion of different expressions and emotions, you chose the one that you think ruined your day, and it's me? I'm sorry, I didn't know I was Gandalf. I didn't know that I had some like superpower or something where I can just walk around and say one thing and it ruins your day. Amazing. Truly amazing, I have to say. Really amazing. Because I'm not going to live on a planet where people don't take responsibility for their choice of emotions and their choice of expression and then sit there and try to blame it up on me. Now, that's just not going to happen. Because the thing is, disruptors, we do not take on your stuff. We don't. We acknowledge you. We see you. We feel that you have the courage to express yourself as you choose. You want to call me a name? Go ahead, do your thing. Whatever makes you feel good at night, that makes you sleep on your little pillow. But it ain't going to change me no different. It ain't going to make me stop being Shaman Durek. It ain't going to stop me from saying that I have a reptilian archetype. It's not going to stop me from saying that I have, Octurian and Andromedian energies, or whatever it is that I say that I say. It's not going to change anything. You're not going to change anything unless I choose to change it. And it's not because of your force or your, it's not going to be anything. And that's what I want you to remember. I don't care if it's your mom or your dad. Sometimes you come into families that you're here to disrupt too. You were born a disruptor. You probably were disrupting your mom's womb when you were inside of her, because your energy, if her energy was not right, and you're a disruptor child, you probably gave her all kinds of cramps. She was getting all kinds of contractions. What kind of baby is this? Oh my God, this baby! We gotta get this baby. This baby's coming out. Why do I feel so emotional? Why am I doing all? You know why? Because you have a disruptor child coming through. And it's going to get even worse. So you better prepare yourself. You got to lay some groundwork, baby. Lay some groundwork. Because when that baby comes out, boop, into this world, the light will be shining. Dee! And anything low vibration, dark, and heavy density, whatever, is going to get shined upon. And if you get shined upon, you know what's going to happen. The truth will come loose. And that means what? That means you're going to be, oh, that's a black sheep of the family. Oh, you never do anything that we ask you to do. Oh, yeah, that's right. And you know why I don't do it? Because I'm not supposed to. I told my dad a long time ago, he goes, I'm going to have to cut you off if you decide to step away from the things that I want you to do. I want you to take over the family business. I want you to start building hotels like I do. I want you to blah, blah, blah. I want you to blah, blah, blah. That's all I heard, literally. I felt like I was in Charlie Brown. I was like, wah, 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 wah. And I was like, Dad, first of all, if you need to cut me off, cut me off. Do it. Cut it off. Cut it off. You will just put the fire under my boom, boom butt to even kick it into higher gear. I do not need your money to define myself and to betray myself for your happiness. If your happiness is dependent upon your control over me, you're going to be a very unhappy father. I'm going to tell you that. And he's like, I don't understand what kind of son you are. How come you don't obey anything I say? I said, because I wasn't supposed to. Did you think I was supposed to? Did you think I was supposed to come in and be like, yes, sir, I'm going to do exactly as you say. I'm going to self-betray myself every single day just to get your love. Are you kidding me? Please. I remember my dad used to send me to school wearing suits. Can you believe that? Who sends a kid to school wearing tuxedos and suits? He was trying to prep me to be a businessman. He didn't let me have a backpack. What father doesn't let his son have a backpack? He gave me a briefcase that said DDV, which is Durek David Verrett. At the time I was Derek, but I changed my name later to Durek. Durek David Verrett, but it was Derek David Verrett, but you get the meaning. And sent me to school wearing a suit and a briefcase. Do you know how many times I got my butt kicked? Now remember, I'm a Gen Xer. So back in the days, it wasn't like, oh, let's just talk it out. It was like, I'll meet you after school, nerd. Right? And literally got my butt kicked until I, of course, learned karate. And then, of course, that ended. But the point I'm making is he would send me to school in these suits, and he would get these suits from Italy. And he was really particular about the clothes that I wore. And I had a friend, and my dad never let me wear jeans. He thought jeans were for hobos because, he grew up in the 20s. So he thought jeans were for hobos. So he would say to me, I said, Dad, all the kids at school are wearing jeans and stuff like that. He goes, jeans? You think I'm going to put my son in jeans? That's what hobos wear. Do you know what a hobo is, son? I go, no, I don't know what a hobo is. He goes, a hobo is a man who wears that kind of clothes and hops on trains at night and drinks. Is that the kind of son I'm raising? Is that the kind of family that you're in? I was like, oh my God, are you serious? You think because I'm choosing to wear jeans, I'm a hobo from hopping trains? So there was no jeans. Okay. So I had to wear these suits. So I said, you know what? I'm going to make this suit something that I wear. So I cut the arm sleeves off and I spray painted it and I like tied yarn into it and sewed it up. And I put all these cool rock and roll buttons like AC/DC, Metallica all on the suit jacket and stuff, and like spray painted the inside and stuff like that. And that's how I chose to go to school. And my dad lost it. He almost fell. He wanted my closet to add another suit. He goes, why are all the arm sleeves off your suits? I said, because I am a disruptor. I am not here to adhere to your way of doing things. And because you're trying to trap me into wearing suit, I'm going to make it my own. I'm going to take what you've given me and turn it to my own. I'm sorry that's hard for you to understand. And finally, my uncle, wonderful man, he convinced my father to let me buy a pair of jeans. And my father would look at the jeans and he'd go, oh, can't believe I even allowed that to happen. And then later on, I got his first pair of jeans and I remember watching him put on the jeans and the look on his face was like, wow, I didn't know it could be so comfortable. But you see, sometimes you got to be a disruptor and to the point where people actually come to meet you in your timeline. Some people will meet you in your timeline where they'll be like, wow, I can't believe I was that way. Or some people won't. And that's okay. Because you know what? There's a season and a reason, baby. A season and a reason. And every season has a reason. And not all people are meant to meet you at the season that you're in. And so you just gotta let them do their thing. If they have to spin, they gotta spin. If they gotta flip a table, they gotta flip a table. If they gotta step away from you for a while, let them step away from you a while. Let them do their thing. You know, I think for me, it's always important for me to let go of my attachment to what I want people to be in my life. I learned that and it really changed my life. I would have friends and I would be like, wow, like, you're not going to come to my event. You're not going to do this. You're not going to come to my wedding. You're not going to no. Okay, fine. I used to get hurt. I used to get like, ugh, 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 ugh. And then Spirit came to me and said, why do you choose to suffer for the choice of another person? Let them be who they want to be. Don't create expectations around them. Open up the invitation. If they take it, great. And if they don't let it go. And so I did. And you know what it did? It was like peace took over me. It was like, oh, I really started to understand how much expectations and how many things I put on people that were actually hurting me. It really had nothing to do with them, but it was really hurting me. And then I realized this isn't supporting me. And yeah, do not take anything personally, but it was more than taking it personally. It was more about what I expected of them. It was like, what do I think they should be for me because of the way I am? Right. And then I learned that like my generosity isn't based on what people give back to me, because I can take people out to dinner, take care of the whole table, like no problem. Like that's like fine. But if my friends can't do that, it doesn't mean that I should be upset about it, because Spirit gives it back to me. It's not about what they do for me. Spirit sees what I do, and Spirit always returns the energy that you put out. Everything you put out gets returned to you. You put out negativity, it returns to you. If you put out love, it returns to you. You put out prosperity and abundance in other people's lives, it returns to you. It's a beautiful thing, I say, this whole magnetic energy. So I think at the same token, when we see that, we don't really have to worry about what people do. It's just what we do. How do we show up? How do we represent ourselves as lit leaders of legacy, right? Yeah. And if you're here for the first time, lit leader of legacy basically means that you are a badass, divine spiritual leader of like infinite potential. Yeah. 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 Where anything goes, baby. That's the whole thing that people always have to remember, that Every possibility exists and every other possibility exists that you haven't even thought of. So never ever think small or play small for anyone at any given time. Assumptions and expectations is probably the biggest cause of suffering. I agree, my love. I agree. I agree. So yeah, so and the other thing too is like, and look, we are living in a new time zone energetically. We're shifting vibrational frequencies at such a high level and watching the clown circus happening around us while we're sitting in the center of the iris, like literally building a beautiful utopia of love. And while we're actually building that beautiful kingdom of love with all of our amazingness that we all are, always remember that we are not here to prove anything to anyone. We are not here to meet people in the lower dimensions to kind of force them to come into the higher dimensions. They'll come when they're ready to come. If people sometimes will say to me, "Oh, Shaman Durek, I don't want to leave my family behind." I'm sorry, you need to leave them behind, darling, because you're not really leaving them behind. You're actually showing them where they can go if they choose. Again, it's their choice. But getting yourself all emotionally upset and like blah, 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 like that's not doing anything for anyone. And especially if you are in the year 2026, right? I believe we are in. Yeah. Because sometimes I lose track of time because time is moving so fast. If you are in any kind of dysfunctional relationship with anyone, I don't care who it is, I have to ask this one simple question for you is why? With not a WHY, but with a big Y across the whole screen. Like, why are you dealing with any form of abuse in 2026? I mean, yeah, sure, you were dealing with abuse in 225, 24, 23, whatever, but we are in such a new paradigm of light consciousness on the planet. Anyone who disrespects you, talks to you in a weird way, or literally plays power games with you, or plays games of like, I'm going to be passive aggressive, or any kind of where someone's putting you down, or not so acknowledging you, seeing you, supporting you, loving you, and cherishing you, they gotta go, boo. Get the cart, get a wagon. I don't care what you gotta do. Get a hot air balloon if you need to, but get them out. They got to go, okay? You need to get them out. There's no more room for this nonsense in your life. It's cut out. No, sorry, don't pass go and don't collect. That's it, period, It's like, get them off the board. Monopoly game over. We're done. We're done. Yeah, that's it. So I really needed to say that because I had a friend the other day who was like calling me and be like, I'm in a dysfunctional relationship with a man. I was like, that's because you are dysfunctional. You dysfunctional because you don't see that there's no more time for that nonsense. We're in the year 2026, baby. You should have left that last year. That should have been your Christmas gift. I'm breaking up with you. We're done. Okay? Because nobody has time for that. No one has time. And people are like, oh, but what about the kids? What about the kids? The kids will survive. What about the kids? The kids will survive. I can't stand when I hear women say to me, but what about my children? No, darling, your children knew before coming to Earth that you two were going to have problems and that y'all were going to be a train wreck. That's why they chose you. So it's time for you to get it popping. Your kids are going to be fine. They're going to go through exactly what they signed up for. So just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And you're going to be better for your kids anyway when you show your kids your resilience and the fact that you love yourself and that you won't put up with abuse and that you don't tolerate any form of disrespect. It's actually going to give your kids an example of what to be versus not what to be. I think that's a better thing than staying in something that's actually toxic, vile and taking away your life force. Just saying. And I have a lot to say, as you can see. So the point is it's time. And if you got a friend around you who likes to gossip and talk bad about someone, I'm sorry. They gotta go in the hot air balloon too, boo. You gotta get them in the hot air balloon and send them off. And you know where the hot air balloon comes from? Of course, it comes from Wicked, because that's like my favorite movie. Yeah, you gotta send the Oz in that hot air balloon and send him back to Kansas, baby, with his tail between his legs, screeching and rhyming. If you don't know where that song came from, it's too short. Anyway, the point I'm making is that There is no more room, because if you have someone in your life who is literally like talking bad about other people or making fun of other people, trust me, they're doing it to you too. Because people's behaviors are seen in the way that they act around you is exactly how they act, and they're doing the same. They're talking bad about someone, they're talking bad about you. So just let them go. Get them in the hot air balloon and sorry, you got to go. Okay, it's like you gotta go, you gotta go. You got to treat them. You got to call them flying monkeys and have them taken off and be like, yeah, yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to handle it because you got to go today, not tomorrow, but today. I'm only saying this to you because I love you so much, and it's time in your life to be free from all forms of abuse on all levels, every level of your being, be free from abuse. Even if spirits are in the room and they're just like, you're so stupid, you're so this, you're never gonna amount to anything, you're not doing enough, blah 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 blah. You need to check them. You need to be like, first thing you need to do is go get some Mary J. Blige and throw it on. No drama. Okay. And then after you do that, you need to say, so I know in the past I've been complacent and I've been like listening to you and like letting you like fill up my brain with a bunch of nonsense, but now I'm not letting you hijack my mind anymore. And yeah, who do you think you are to talk to me like that? Please, I will zap you with some light right now. Don't even try it. Don't come in my room. Don't come in my house. Don't come near me. I will zap you with some light. And you know you were trying to run from that light. And that's what you're going to get. Please. I don't care if it's human or non-human. There's no more room for abuse. You understand? Let's do it. Boom, boom, boom. I'ma click it. I'ma click it. I'ma click it. I'ma click it. Lock in, people. Lock in. This is the year to lock in. And what are you locking into? You're locking into high vibration, baby. You're locking into the next level sensation, baby. You are locking into, I'm calling it all good things in my life, baby. I'm locking into prosperity and abundance, baby. I'm locking into people who are high vibration people, baby. I'm locking into opportunities, baby. I'm locking into making moves, baby. And that's not going to happen if you got them twiddly, tattly, toodly, toodlies hanging out still in your energy field. I don't care. Please. I remember one time I told my dad, I said, Dad, if you cannot learn how to speak to me with kindness, love, and respect, you are going to see less and less of me. And it's going to be sad for you. So you have a choice. Call me on the phone, start yelling, blah, 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 blah. I'll be like, I'm so sorry. Seems that you're not in the best spirit. I'll call me when you are. Click. Oh, please. I did not ask for permission to hang up on him. I hung up on him with my own few words. I used to be like, sounds like you're not in the best spirit, Dad. Let me know when you are and we can talk. Click. And every time I did that, he used to get so angry. And he'd call again. And I said, well, it still sounds like you're not in the best spirit, Dad. Talk to me when you are. It's the only time we're going to be talking. Click. Finally, one day he called. He's like, hi, son, are you there? I was like, oh, you sound pleasant. Let's talk. And then he realized the only time he was going to get a conversation with me is when he was coming from the right place. Please, I don't care if you're my papa, you're my mama. I don't care. You disrespect, you out. You on the balloon. You will be on the balloon. You will be on the balloon. I don't care. I don't care. I know there's a Bible verse that says, respect your mother and father and your days will be along upon the earth. And I'm like, yeah, well, I respect them. But in the balloon, when they're in another country, in another place, that's when you get my respect from afar. I love you. Enjoy. 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 Yeah. Fine. Bye. Peace. 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 Yes. That's how it goes. I don't care who you are. You will be on the balloon. And that's what you need to think. You need to take it in. Factoids, yes. Lock in. This is a year to lock in. We're locking into high vibration fields only. You sit at a dinner table and people start gossiping, you just put your fork and your knife down and be like, thank you for inviting me to this wonderful dinner. However, you guys are gossiping and talking really bad about people and drawing a lot of negative energy, and that does not work for me. Got to go. Got to go. And if they're sitting on your dinner table, just get the balloon, get the balloon, get the balloon, bring the balloon out, put them in the balloon and send them on their merry way. And no more dinners at your house, because your house is a temple, it's a sanctuary. Let's keep it that way, okay? Only people who should be in your house are high vibration people because high vibration people magnify more and more of that energy because you're already creating wealth, abundance, and all these beautiful things, right? So why would you want to have anyone muck up that energy with their dark energy? No, you want high vibration people around you so that when they come in your home, because you're already manifesting, you create higher vibration energy. Hello? Yes. Yes. No. You will not sit at my dinner table. You have a balloon waiting for you as fast as you can say your middle name. You wouldn't even be able to say your middle name. You say the first two initials and you'll be out. Because this is about high vibe, baby. I'm locking into high vibe right now. Yeah. Seriously. Don't come knocking on my door with no drama. I'm not being like, time won't down on the corner. No drama. Throw some Mary J. Blige on. I'll start pulling all kinds of songs out. Be like, hello, darkness, my old friend. It's time for you to get in the balloon again. Yeah, please. Please. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I gotta put on my friend, Indie Irie. My friend Indie Irie and her song, I Am the Light. I am the light. Please, I'll be playing that all the time. People ring the doorbell, be like, I am the light. You came here with some darkness. You about to get zapped. You about to get zapped. Mm-hmm. Please. You will get zapped. Don't come up on my porch and think that you're gonna come in with any darkness in my house. Cause I'm the moment you push the button and be like, I'm gonna have my friend Indie Irie singing, I am the light. I am light. Please, you be like, be zapped. Don't come around my friend group because if you come in with any kind of nonsense of anything level, low vibration energy, you'll be like, feel like you in the electric chair. You will get zapped. Yes. You know, I tell it like it is. I don't got no time for no games, please. We are too powerful for games. People want to play games. There's tons of board games they can get in their house and play. Trust me. We about taking it to the next level. We are taking it to the next level. Right? Boom, 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 boom. Where's my lip bell? I got my lip bell up in here. It's my low. What's that? Undreadall. I think this is a place that I went with my in-laws. Yeah. I know it ain't it ain't like a fairy bell, but it's a cowbell, some kind of bell, but it's a bell indeed, and it's a lit bell, and it's a reminder bell to let you know that this is the year for high level growth. And also, if I may mention, this is the year where you remind yourself how amazing, powerful, divine, delicious, and sexy you are. And just to add to it, please, how creative and what a genius and how you always get it done. Now, just also so you know, just on a core level, how divine and how you are capable of creating infinite possibilities among possibilities, and how everything always works out in your favor. And notice when I ring the bell, I do a little switchy of my lippies like this. Because sometimes you need to have a little attitude when it gets you in the mood, because that's how we do it when we in the spiritual groove. You understand what I'm saying? Spirituality is not about like, it is literally about having fun, being wild and crazy and free. And so when you ring that bell, you better give me some face. You better do a little Vogue, pose. Like, okay, need I say more? Exactly. Exactly. Like I said, I am not Glinda. I am Alphaba up in this house. And trust me, if I was Glinda in that story of Wicked, mm, mm, Madame Morble and the wizard would have had a ass whooping like you ain't never seen. Alphaba was so nice. I got that grimoire. I would have turned their asses into some birds and had them fly away. Please. No. Mm-mm. Monkeys chasing me. Oh no. Mm-mm, boo. I would have sat them monkeys down and been like, look, the reason why you got wings is because they tricked me. And you know good and well I'm not against you because the whole entire animals are being messed up and I've been trying to save your asses. And every time I try to save the animals, you come in and flying after me. Nobody wants that. Okay? So sit your monkey asses down and listen to what I got to say. Look, I have a lot of respect for all of you. I'm sorry I gave you blue wings, but look, now you can fly. So look at the benefit of it. But the wizard is no good, and we gonna have to take his ass down. Let's be real about it. Boom. And if Madame Morble and all them people be sending guards, like there's no reason for Fiel to be get killed inside the cornfield. Soon as they were like letting him go, I would have taken my powers and pushed them guards back and knocked Glinda down and taken Fiyero on the broomstick back to my love cabin. Please. Why is he turned into a scarecrow? Because you didn't do what you needed to do. Mm-mm. You should have. You had no problem breaking the chains from the animals. You had no problem zapping that with your magic, but you couldn't zap. You couldn't zap those people and knock them down. Please. And that wizard wouldn't be sitting up in that palace any longer. Please. He would have no. He would have had some problems with me. I'd have come up in there and been like, let the animals go. I feel like I was Moses. Let them animals go. Had to part the Red Sea and all. And if you don't, I'm gonna bring a plague up on this Oz like you ain't never seen. Please. Mm-mm. And that little sister of hers, ooh, she would have been on the balloon. She would have been on the balloon a long time ago. That girl would have been on a balloon. No, and not that angry Papa from Munchkin Land. Oh no, you will not be talking to me any which way, please. I will turn you to a little mouse and kick you out the door. Don't you mess with me. I got the grimoire now. That's why he died, because he knew Alphaba would get him. Please. He never liked her. Giving Nessa the shoes and right in front of her. Oh Nessa, my darling Nessa, please. You only mad at me because you know mama was unfaithful. That's why you mad. That's why you real mad. You big mad. You big mad. That's the only reason why you big mad. Because there's no reason for you to be treating me any which way just because I'm green. If you thought I was your child. No, you are mad because mama was doing some nasty in while you were on business trips because you were probably doing some nasty. Y'all two both so nasty. And that's why you mad. So you taking out all your angriness and upsetness because you got cheated on, right? Because please, like, let's be real. Because you know she was doing it Sam Smith style, okay? And she would like, when he coming over with that green drink, everybody better get out of here. She was getting that green drink on, you know what I'm saying? She got that green drink. She be drinking it. Let's go. Please. And the nerve. And then the daddy come out acting like, oh, she's green. And mama going, oh, she green. Baby, that baby came out of you. That's your baby. You was so disrespectful as a mama. That baby. Everybody screaming. Please, if my baby came out and the forks and knives won't stick to the wall, ooh, you better know Harry Potter was going to be created up in that house. I'll be like, look at my baby. Baby, make that cup hit the wall over there. Show them what you can do. Oh, and over here, you better not be talking back because I'll have my daughter knock you out with that bowl right there. And ain't no kids going, I'm going to tell my kid, next time you go to school and them kids try to get up in your face, you better use your magic. Turn them all to birds and send them flying. Tell them they have 6 months before you turn them back to a human being. We ain't no time for that nonsense. The Body Shop. You know what I was saying? See, you got me. You know how I talk. Yes, exactly. And trust me, there would be no nonsense going on in Oz. Everybody better be friends with them animals or Elphaba coming through. Because Shaman Durek Elphaba is a whole different type of Elphaba. See, I don't sit back in my place and go, Ashkashkamama, Hawa, Shwashawana, Hama, Hama, Hama. Maybe I get a little bit of Lion King in there, like, Shak Shawama Tama, do some Lion King for, Rafiki, he'd be doing his thing with on behalf, half Shaman Rafiki and Alphaba in there. So I'll be doing like, Ananama Kanama Nama, and then I'll add a little bit of Rafiki in there too, and be like, Shama Swana Squash Banana, whatever it takes. I don't care. Please. I will not be sitting in a hovel in the forest, hiding away when I have a fabulous green palace to take over from a bunch of cuckoo birds that will get their ass handed to them on a silver platter because Alpha Shaman Durek can come in there and change things. And Fiero will never turn into no scarecrow. Please. And Glinda better get her act right, because I'll be checking that woman left and right. I'll be like, you know why you got no magic, Glinda? Because you act bad. You don't know, you don't do the right things. You don't make the right choices. Always trying to get everybody to like you. You better get on the team over here. Because I ain't gonna teach you no magic if you gonna keep acting like that. And I will make sure I'll pop that bubble every time you open your mouth. Pop, pop, pop. Anyway. I don't know. I'm such a Wicked fan. I love it so much. I like making fun of those things because I find it very fascinating. I see so many things. I'm like, why did that person have to turn into that? And if Nessa had been on that air balloon, you would have never had her turn the Tin Man and he wouldn't be mad. And anyway, I don't even know why the Tin Man is trying to get Glinda anyway. He ain't even Glinda's style. Obviously, he knew that. Please. And Glinda is the one creating all the problems anyway. The reason why Nessa died is because of Glinda's big mouth. Because Madame Warble would have never knew about dropping a house on her. And secondly, the reason why, what's his name, Nessa, when she was like, she wants the Munchkin to be in love with her. But the reason why the Munchkin was in love with her in the first place, what was his name anyway? See, that's how much I can't remember him. What was his name? Yeah, the Munchkin, the one who was in love with Nessa, was in love with Glinda, but, serving Nessa. If you could let me know the name, that'd be good. Says, I think I forget his name. But anyway, the point is he came from Munchkin Land. The point I'm making is that he, right, was manipulated by Glinda because she wanted to divert him, Bach. Yeah, that's it, Bach. Divert him over to Nessa. She's a troublemaker, that Glinda. Troublemaker. All for popular, please. Ain't nobody want to be that popular that you got to create all the drama. And then Elphaba had to leave and go off with Fiero the Scarecrow. I don't even know how they gonna get it going. I don't know. That might hurt. But the point I'm making is this. Can't believe I just said that. But the point, that's what she said. But the point I'm making is this, is that she gonna be in that palace all by herself. And she gonna have some time to reflect and realize that the reason why the Tin Man is a Tin Man is because of you. The reason why Elphaba's gone is because of you. The reason why Fiero's a Scarecrow is because of you. The reason why Nessa's dead is because of you. She got a whole lot of karma to be dealing with. A whole lot. So she better learn how to use that book real fast. Have you seen Stranger Things? Of course I did, and the ending sucked. Sorry if it's a spoiler alert for anybody, but I wasn't happy. No, because actually I would like to see Will use more of his power. They should have been a bigger fight, I don't need all this. Like, I want to see somebody use their powers. I already seen, Elle use her powers. Like, we all know about Elle. Everybody knows about Elle, right? Elle, how Elle be coming in. But Will, no, don't have Will do a scene where he be breaking people's legs and stuff and then wiping the blood like he's a new superhero. And then all of a sudden, the only thing you have him do is stop Mr. Tree Branch from getting you. That's it. And I don't like the fact that they use a spider because I have arachnophobia and I don't like that. I looked at my wife. I was like, why? She started laughing. She was like, oh, it's a spider. Yeah, you can laugh all you want, honey. You know I'm scared of spiders. I don't have no spider. Of course it had to be a spider. Why can't it just be some kind of furry tree? It had to be a spider. But anyway, the point I'm making is this, is that at the end of the day, I just feel that there should have been a little bit more action on Will's part. A little bit more pizzazz towards the end. You know, that's it. I wanted to see some real wizard stuff. Don't be calling him a wizard if all he gonna do is crack bones one time and then one time stop a tree branch. Nobody cares about that. So yeah, that's my feeling about it. But I did love the series. I thought it was great. Me and my wife watched it. We were very much, and I met those kids too when they were really young. I met them at Netflix. Was invited by what's his name, Serrano, and his wife invited me to like the award show for Netflix, and they were just did the first Stranger Things, so I got to meet the whole cast, and they were so cute. I met their parents, and I was like, "Are you happy that you guys are doing it?" They're like, "Yeah, it's gonna be exciting." Little do you know how amazing they have been throughout the year. So it was really nice to see that. But to meet them when they were little, like super little kids, and their parents were with them because they couldn't be out at this event. And then now they're all grown up. It's so uncanny, really. But anyway, I love you guys. I have to have dinner with my wife and kids, so I just have to go now. But remember, when you get your lit bell, give us space, baby. Give us space. Don't give us no lit bell like this. No, no, no. You need to get like this. Show them cheapos. Because that means that you are given attitude. And that's how you do. You think the spirits are like, oh, please. If you knew how the spirits really are, please. You think you in like a Vogue competition. They be coming out like Kuan Yin, they be playing. She come out like a Santa Master. She be like, ew, please, okay? Compassion. Ha ha. No, you think sometimes you might think like, when you see those old games like Chun Li and you kiss, they like that. They be coming out like what, and sliding over and stuff with hearts coming off of them. Don't be fooled. They ain't becoming angels. Don't be doing that. No, angels be like, ooh ha, Shaman Durek, hi. Yeah, it's a whole nother level. So don't worry about it. Don't worry. Don't get all like, all holy and the angels sing hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Yeah, no. They got house music DJs in heaven. They be like pumping, bumping. If everything exists, then everything exists. Yeah, there's angels who are saying like woo, but there's also ones who are like whoop, 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 and there's angels that are like where do you think that stuff comes from? We channeling from other dimensions, baby. Let's keep it popping. I love you so much. We have a webinar coming up this Thursday. So you got to come. Yeah, I'm coming. See, my wife calling me to dinner. Like I told you. See, I knew right on point. We have a webinar coming up on Thursday. I look forward to seeing you there. If you are ready to take it to the next level, let's go. My webinars, we'd be taking it to levels that people don't even know we'd be taking it. People come to webinar, call me up after and be like, did I just go through what I just went through? I'm like, yeah. They're like, I've never had anything like that in my life. And for $35, people be charging like $200, $500 to talk about chakras. I'm like, oh, we passed chakras, baby. We talking about what's inside the chakra. Okay, so that being said, we have a webinar. If you want to set a private, you can go to Shaman Durek and book a private. If you want to get on the lit vibe and get all lit, all vibed, and all action energy open, go on the Lit Vibe app, join the community, share your love with the community because people are up there talking and sharing pictures and doing all kinds of good stuff. But most importantly, just continue being you and being amazing and know that you're loved and I believe in you and I love you and I will see you soon. And share this live with those who you feel want to get lit. Mwah. And before we leave, one last and we out. Mwah. Bye, babies.